Shalom Israel, welcome to another edition of Yasharalah's 20-minute breakdown, where I'll attempt to break down the scriptures within 20 minutes. But first and foremost, let's give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Waha, Rakah, Kadash, and also the Akians and the elders in the highways and the byways, pushing this word in truth and sincerity, and the elder women teaching the younger women, and the camps also that's making edifying videos, and the brothers out there, all praises. Now, what I'm going to touch on today, I'm going to be starting with Deuteronomy 33 and 29. There's a particular point I want in that verse, and it will come apparent when I start the lesson. I'm touching on the Christian church, because the reason why I'm doing this, because I think the Christian church is one of the main tools where it teaches us to error. Yes, it teaches us to error, because it doesn't teach we should keep the laws. It teaches since Christ came, the laws are done away with. The Bible does not substantiate that whatsoever. Teaches you can eat all kind of food. The Bible doesn't substantiate that either. You know, like the church teaches you to worship on a Sunday. The Bible doesn't say that either. You know, teaches you about Christmas, that Christ was born in Christmas, which is December the 25th, in the dead of winter. The Bible does not substantiate that either. Mother's Day, the Bible does not substantiate that either. I'm not going to be able to touch, for time reasons, I won't be able to touch on every single point that I've just brought out, but you can search the scriptures yourself, and you'll find them. If you're diligent enough and want to learn, you know where to find me. I'm happy to teach anybody one-on-one personally. Now, the thing about the Christian church now is, because like under the Roman Catholic Church, as it first started, you had many break-offs from it. And the first break-off was like a man called John Smith, who created the Baptist religion in the year 1608. Now, Baptists, the only Baptist you'll find in the Bible is the act when people were being baptized by John, and also the scriptures also do tell us that we were baptized unto Moses in the wilderness. So that's another baptism, which that was when Moses gave the law, statutes, and commandments to Israel. Now, the next religion as well that we were given was Pentecostal religion by a man called Charles Parham in the year 1901. Now, Pentecostal, you go in the Bible, the only Pentecost you'll find is one of the Most High's feast days, with the Feast of Pentecost. But there's no such religion called Pentecostal. Not according to the Bible, there isn't. Another one is the Mormons religion, which was started by a man called Joseph Smith in the year 1830. Now, this Mr. Joseph Smith, he was very racist indeed, because he taught that black skin was a curse. In the Mormons, you'd find that he taught black skin was a curse. But when you go into the scriptures, you'll find it was actually the opposite. Because you've got to remember, when you go into scriptures, you see that Moses, when he was told to put his hand in his bosom and he took it out, it was leprous, as white as snow. And then when he put it back in, it was back to his normal color. And then Miriam, remember, Miriam and Aaron spoke against the Most High and against Moses. And what happened? Miriam was cursed. She turned white, leprous as snow. From head to foot, she was white. So they've got it wrong. It's actually the other way around. Next one was a man called Charles Taze Russell. He created the Jehovah Witness religion in 1872. Then the next one now was a man called William Miller. He created the Seventh-day Adventists, even though who's more widely known now for the Seventh-day Adventists is a lady called Ellen Gold White. But the thing is, her mentor, her teacher was William Miller in 1863. So Ellen G. Gold White, but she learned from William Miller. Okay, with that said, we're going to touch on some of the verses and some of the things that they will never teach you in the Christian church, which they ought to, if they claim they are doing the work of the Most High to get you, shall we say, perfect, meaning perfect according to the Most High. not according to man. So let's get that clear. Now, let's go straight into the scriptures. I'm going to start at Deuteronomy 33 and 29. And as always, I put my timer ready. So let's go in 3, 2, 1. We're away. Deuteronomy 33 verse 29. And it reads, Happy art thou, O Israel, who is like unto thee, O people saved by the Lord, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency. And thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. You hear that? Thy enemies shall be found liars unto thee. Now, let's see what they've lied about. Let's first and foremost, remember they give us religion, Christianity. Is that in the Bible? Let's see what the Bible calls itself. Let's go to the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 8, and it reads, This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. See that? The Bible tells you exactly what the book is. It's the book of law. Now let's back that up further. Let's go to the book of Maccabees, which is in the Apocrypha. So if you have one of these, the original King James 1611, when you open it up, you will find, as you open up, you'll find the books of the Apocrypha, which was removed. There's 14 books which was removed by the Protestants in the 18th century. Yeah? Now, and listen to this. This is the book of Maccabees. Now, this is book of 1st Maccabees, chapter 3, verse 48. And it reads, And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their image. Hear that? The heathen sought to paint the likeness of their image. Now you know how we got this image. Bible just told you plainly. And then I'm going to further back that up. Watch this. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. And it reads, The earth is given into the hands of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Now you hear that? The Bible just told you that the earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. And this wicked has covered the face of the judges thereof. Who's the judge of the earth? The Messiah, the one they call Christ. How did they cover his face? They did this in what was called the Renaissance period. Renaissance meaning rebirth. This happened. Don't know if you can see that clearly. That's an original painting of the Messiah, the one they call Christ. Leonardo da Vinci, I'm sure his name was, if I remember correctly, painted Caesar Borgia, the son of Pope Alexander. I think it was the 6th or one of them popes, but it was the son. You can check that out yourself. His name was Caesar Borgia. They depicted him as Christ. And this happened in the Renaissance period, in the 13th century. That's how they changed the truth into a lie, and that's how they, changed the image of Christ. Right there. And you'll find that image all over churches, even like when you look on the image when they have on the cross and they have someone on the cross, they have that image. Now, the Bible doesn't back that image up whatsoever. Now, let's move on. Now, another thing you will never hear in church is homosexuality. Whether they will teach against it or whatever, they will not say nothing, because they have homosexual priests, bishops, and so forth. They have lesbian priests, bishops, and so forth. Now, listen to what the Bible says about that. Let's go to the book of. Let's start at Leviticus 18 and verse 22. Let's go there. Watch this. And it reads, the book of Leviticus, chapter 18, verse 22. And it reads, Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. Okay, let's further prove that. Let's go to Romans 1 and verse 26. And it reads, let's start at 25 to get the understanding. Because listen to this. It says, this is the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie? I just showed you one of the lies that they've changed, literally, and worshipped and served the creature more than the Creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. Verse 26. For this cause God gave them up unto vile affections, for even their women did change the natural use unto that which is against nature. Hear that? And check this out, verse 27. And likewise also the men, touching on the men again, leaving the natural use of the woman, burned in their lusts, one towards another, men with men, working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error which was meet. So whatever they get, they deserve according to the Bible. Don't get mad at me. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you what the Most High says in the scriptures. Right. Now, another thing they won't teach against is interracial marriage. But let's see what the Bible says about interracial marriage. Yeah. Right. Well, let's go to the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 3, and listen to this. See what you make of this. And it reads. It says, neither shall thou make marriages with them. Thy daughters thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughters shall thou take unto thy son. And what's the reason? Verse 4 explains, for they will turn away thy sons from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. Remember, the same thing happened to King Solomon. King Solomon took many wives of different nations, and what happened? They made his heart turned away from the Most High, and he started to serve the gods of the other nation, the wives he had. Remember, he had many wives. He served their gods, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against him. So what he done, he rent the kingdom from him. And this is where you can read in First Kings chapter 11 onwards, where the kingdom was split into two. You had the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom. That's another lesson, but that's just a quick touch on that. Now, watch this now. I'm going to go to the book of Ezra, just to further back that up. Ezra, this is chapter 9. Let's go to Ezra chapter 9. Oh, I've lost my place, lucky Israel. I've lost where I was. I was gonna go to Ezra, wasn't I? Not. Now, what have I done with? I've just shut my book and I've lost my place. So here we go. Book of Ezra, chapter 9 and verse. Let's start at 1 quickly. And this is book of Ezra, chapter 9, verse 1, reading. Now, when these things were done, the princes came to me, saying, the people of Israel, see that? And the priests and the Levites have not separated themselves from the people of the land, doing according to their abomination, even of it's going to name some of these nations now, the Canaanites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites, the Ammonites, and the Moabites, the Egyptians, and the Amorites. Verse 2, for they have taken of their daughters for themselves and for their sons, so that the holy seed have mingled themselves with the people of those lands. And it says, yea, the hand of the princes and rulers have been chief in this trespass. You see, it's not what we were supposed to be doing. And you see what he said? They've been chief in this trespass. Now watch this. I'm going to quickly give you something that the Most High says about us. And this is what we have to take heed. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. Listen to this. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all the people that are upon the face of the earth. All these things they will never teach you, because they will teach you that, oh, you're black, you're whatever. But they won't let you know that you are the true, real Israelites. Yeah? And watch this. I'm going to show you now, because this is another thing they don't teach. They won't teach that who you really are. Now listen to this. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 37. And it reads, "And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb and a byword among all nations, whether the Lord shall lead thee." Now, what's a proverb and a byword? A byword is something, a name given to you outside your race and your nationality. Like the Most High called us Israelites, but when we were taken into slavery, what we called niggers, then we were Negroes, then we were colored, then we were African American, then we were Afro Caribbean, then we were black. See, all those things. Notice how we're the only nation that had proverbs and bywords. What's a proverb? Proverb is a saying. Oh, they're all drug dealers. They're all thieves. Oh, they can't be trusted. See? Only our nation was ever that's happened to. And watch this, yeah? Deuteronomy 28, verse 40. Let's start at 47. Listen to this. "Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things." Verse 48. Therefore shall thou, Salaki, therefore shall thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger. So if you want food, who do you have to go to? Your enemies. In thirst, if you want water, comes out the sky freely, who do you have to go to? Pay for it? Your enemies. And in nakedness, if you want clothing, who do you have to go to? Your enemies. And in want of all things, if you want anything, you have to go to your enemies. Driver's license, passport. And even if you get a passport, you still have to go to them to let you out of the country, say how long you're going to be out, and let you back in. Yeah. Marriage certificate, birth certificate, death certificate, you know, education, religion, how to serve the Most High. You go into their establishment, churches. If you want to be a priest, you've got to go to seminary school or theologian school. Who's running all of that? Your enemies. See? So you see, this is what we know. This is a true book. This is a true book. Yeah. Right. So that's that on that one. Now, the next one they won't teach you is actually about like the holy days, the Most High's high holy days. Now, they have given us Christmas, Easter, New Year's, and you look in the Bible. New Year's, number one, they say New Year's is this January the 1st. The Bible tells you that New Year's is like when you have the new spring up, like in spring, when things are budding new. That's the New Year according to the Most High. And you see, this place is wicked because they know it. Look at when they do the end of the financial year. When is that? Isn't that between March, April? You see, they know it, but they do everything to keep us from serving Him correctly. Because the day we return back to the Most High fully, like as a nation, things will change. We'll be back where we were supposed to be originally. Yeah? So bear that in mind. Let me show you some of this. First and foremost, they teach you worship on Sunday. I would challenge any pastor, even the highest bishop, to show me where the Sabbath was ever changed. Yeah? Now watch this. I'm going to go to the book of Leviticus chapter 23. And I'm going to start at verse 4. Watch this. Leviticus 23 and verse 4. And it reads, "These are the feasts of the Lord, even holy convocations, which ye shall proclaim in their season." Now you see that? And even if I'll jump up just to like let's just go up to verse 1 first, so you get the context. This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verse 1, and it reads, And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocation, even these are my feasts. And then it starts with verse 3, 6 days that work shall be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest. You see? And then after that, it goes down to tell you the next one would be the Passover. Yeah? Yeah? The Passover. Then you have the Feast of Unleavened Bread. Then you have the first fruits. After that, then you have the Pentecost, like I said earlier. After Pentecost, you've got Feast of Trumpets. Then you've got Day of Atonement. Then you've got Feast of Tabernacles. Yeah? So all these are the correct feast days, not Christmas, not Easter. Easter you won't find in the Bible. Yeah? What you will find in the Bible is Passover. And watch this. Christmas is another thing. They tell us about Christmas. Listen to what the Bible says about Christmas. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1. And I'll start at Jeremiah, sorry, Salaki. This is Jeremiah, chapter 10, and I start at verse 1. Listen to this. Hear ye the words which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith, verse 2, Thus saith the Lord, Learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Verse 3, For the custom, so now it's talking about a custom that they do. Listen to what this custom is. For the customs of the people are vain. Notice it said customs, so there's more than one, but this is going to be one in particular. Let's see which one this is. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with an axe. Verse 4, They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. Now, what holiday is that? What holiday do you take a tree? Because remember before artificial trees, you take a tree out of the forest, bring it into your home, you fasten it so it doesn't topple over, and then you decorate it with silver and gold. Because to deck it means to decorate it. Now, what holiday is that? And it just said, Learn not the way of the heathen. And it says, the custom is vain. It means deceitful, it's vain, it's of no profit. And then verse 5 just goes on to say they are upright as the palm tree, and then they speak but cannot. Because what happened is, back in the day, they used to use the palm tree as a so-called Christmas tree. But it wasn't called Christmas back then. I think it was called Saturnalia, if I remember correctly. You can look it up and check it. Everything I'm saying, verify for yourself. But it was, anyway, they used the palm tree. And then as time went on, the palm tree went to the fir tree. And then from the fir trees, what they use now is the pine tree. And then obviously you have now, like as we're in the 21st century, you have now artificial trees and so forth. But they still have, like the pine tree is the main one, commonly used to date. Yeah, so you check that out whenever you want. Now, another thing they don't teach against is tithing. Now, if you notice, this is something that I find very strange, right? Because the church tells you the laws are done away with. Since Christ come, he nailed them to the cross. So if that's the case, how did the law of tithing survive? Because they still tithe and they collect money, and tithing was a law. You'll find that you'll find that in the book of Numbers. It was a law, and in Deuteronomy. So how did tithing survive, but all the other laws didn't? Watch this. This is Numbers 18, verse 21. Let's look at this tithing quickly. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 18, verse 21. It reads, And behold, I have given the children of Levi all the tenth in Israel for an inheritance, for their service which they serve, even the service of the tabernacle of the congregation. So you'd find that the Levites was the tithing for. Now, watch this quickly. This is Deuteronomy 14, verse 22, where it says, Thou shalt truly tithe the increase of thy seed of the field. So you see, it was crops. And then people might say, oh, but but obviously now we got money, so you know. But when you read on, it's going to tell you that there's a place when the Most High puts his name, and if it's too far for you to go, you turn that into money. So money was around then, and you go bind it up in your hand. When you get to the place where the Lord shall put his name, then you would exchange that money, and then you would eat, yeah, and be satisfied and good. But you never forsake the Levites. The tithing was for the Levites. I can't touch too much into it, so I'm about to time out. So this was Yasharallah's 20-minute breakdown. I hope you got some good information. So as always, we out.